Have you ever thought that failure is the first step toward success? Every time you stumble is not the end, but an opportunity for you to learn, grow, and discover new limits of yourself. In life, there is no perfect path, and it is these challenges and difficulties that help you become stronger on your journey forward. Let's explore why failure is not only an inevitable part but also a crucial key to achieving long-term success. Hello everyone, welcome to the Stoic Lessons channel. This is where we explore profound life philosophies and valuable lessons to help with personal development. Through our videos, you will find inspiring stories, essential skills for facing challenges, and mindsets that will help you live a meaningful life. In this video, we will together explore why failure is the first step toward success. Let's embark on a journey of self-discovery and create positive changes in our lives. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to not miss out on the latest knowledge. Now, let's get started. Success is not a destination but a journey, an ongoing process of experimenting, learning, failing, and getting back up to move forward. In this journey, failure is not just an unavoidable factor but also a necessary step to achieve greatness. This is clearly reflected in Stoic philosophy, a way of life taught by ancient Greek philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism is not just a method of living, but also a perspective on failure and success, helping us not to be defeated by difficulties, but instead use them as stepping stones to go further. Stoicism and the relationship between failure and success. Stoicism is the philosophy of acceptance and perseverance. According to Stoicism, we cannot control everything in life, but we can control our reactions to those events. Failure is not a bad thing, it is a part of life that we must learn to face. In Stoic thinking, failure is not an end but an opportunity to develop resilience and wisdom. Remember, there is no failure, only an opportunity to learn. Accepting failure as a natural part of life. The Stoic philosophy emphasizes that failure is an essential part of our careers and lives. Marcus Aurelius, one of the famous Stoic philosophers, once wrote, "We cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we react." This means that failure is not something we can avoid, but something we need to learn how to confront and handle. Failure helps us grow. Stoic thinking sees failure as an important tool for personal growth. Instead of viewing failure as something negative, we should see it as an opportunity to learn and improve ourselves. When facing failure, we should not complain or give up. Instead, we need to analyze the failure to understand why it happened and from there, draw valuable lessons. Failure is the first step to success. Failure is the first step not only because it is unavoidable, but because it is a crucial part of personal and career development. Stoicism does not encourage us to avoid difficulties, but to face them with strength and responsibility. Failure is an opportunity to test our resilience and growth potential. Failure is an opportunity to develop resilience. Stoic thinking helps us build mental strength to overcome failure without being defeated. Resilience is not an innate quality but one that can be cultivated over time. When facing failure, we learn to accept the truth that unwanted things will happen, but they do not define us. Instead, how we deal with failure defines who we are. Failure teaches us humility. Failure is a reminder of humility. In the pursuit of goals, we can easily become caught up in our ego, pride, and self-satisfaction. However, failure will make us realize that we cannot do everything alone. It is an opportunity to learn from others, from their experiences, and from our own failures. Failure helps us reassess goals and directions. When we face failure, we may sometimes feel lost. But it is in these moments that Stoicism teaches us that it is the time to look back and ask ourselves, am I on the right path? What can I do to improve? Failure is not just a sign to stop, but an opportunity to reflect, adjust our goals, and seek another path to success. Lessons from failure and how to use them for success. Failure helps us develop self-control. One of the most important lessons that Stoicism provides is the ability to practice self-control. When facing failure, our emotions can be intense, whether it's anger, sadness, or disappointment. However, Stoicism encourages us to learn how to control those emotions, not let them dominate our actions. Instead of reacting negatively, we choose to respond calmly and rationally, viewing failure as an opportunity to practice composure and clarity. Find peace in chaos when facing failure. Stoicism teaches us that nothing can take away our inner peace. This peace is not about never encountering difficulties, but about the ability to maintain a quiet mind no matter how chaotic the situation is. This is the trait of a strong person, one who can stand firm in the face of challenges and continue moving forward without being shaken. Use failure as motivation. Stoic thinking is not just about accepting failure, but also about using it as motivation for self-improvement. Instead of allowing failure to bring us down, we can use it to strengthen our resolve, refine our skills, and develop a new strategy. Every failure is a valuable lesson, and if we learn from it, we get closer to success. Practicing Stoicism when facing failure. One of the key factors in applying Stoic thinking when facing failure is the ability to maintain calm and clarity in difficult moments. This requires constant persistence and daily practice. Below are some practical methods for applying Stoicism to life when faced with failure. Accepting the reality of the situation. Stoicism teaches that one of the first steps to overcoming failure is to accept the current situation fully, without hiding or denying the truth. The reality is that we cannot change what has happened, but we can change how we respond to it. Once we accept that failure is a natural part of life, we will feel less pressure and more easily find peace in difficult situations. One famous quote from Epictetus is, "It's not the events that cause us to suffer, but how we interpret them." When we accept that things do not always go according to plan, we begin to lessen anxiety and face failure with more resilience. Self-assessment and learning from failure. Stoicism encourages us to always reflect on ourselves after each failure so we can learn and improve. Instead of avoiding or denying failure, we need to analyze why it happened, what factors led to it, and what we can do differently to avoid repeating it in the future. This process of self-assessment is not about self-blame but about developing wisdom and insight. An effective method is to journal after each failure. Write down your emotions, thoughts, and actions throughout the process and after the failure. Through this, you can recognize patterns, negative habits, or deficiencies in your goal-setting process, and draw important lessons for the future. Maintaining a positive and optimistic attitude. Failure can easily make us feel discouraged and lose faith in ourselves. However, one of the key principles in Stoicism is maintaining a positive and optimistic attitude even in difficult times. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, taught that we can choose our attitude towards any situation. When facing failure, instead of seeing it as a sign of an end, we should view it as an opportunity to grow and become stronger. Stoicism does not encourage forcing ourselves to be happy when facing hardship, but it urges us to look at failure from a different perspective, as a challenge, an opportunity to learn. This does not mean we have to avoid negative emotions, but rather, we learn how to face them without letting them control our lives. Practicing patience and perseverance. Success does not come after just one attempt. Stoicism teaches that patience is a key factor in dealing with failure. Stoic masters like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius emphasize that patience and perseverance are two indispensable elements in the journey of self-improvement. When failure happens, instead of trying to avoid it or give up, we need to persist and be patient, continuing to learn and try again. As Marcus Aurelius said, we can change ourselves, but we cannot change the world around us. Therefore, it is important to maintain patience so we are not overcome by the difficulties life brings. Failure is motivation to improve ourselves. Stoicism not only helps us face failure but also guides us towards self-improvement through every challenge. Failure is not an obstacle, but an opportunity to reinvent ourselves and grow. If we view failure as an end, we miss valuable chances to learn and mature. Cultivating intellect and spirit. One of the ways failure helps us improve ourselves is by honing our intellect and spirit. Failure forces us to rethink our actions and learn from mistakes. When failure no longer scares us but becomes a chance to grow, we become wiser in making decisions and solving problems in the future. Building resilient spirit. Stoicism teaches us that what matters is not what happens to us, but how we react to it. Viewing failure as an inevitable part of life helps us build a resilient, strong spirit with the ability to recover. The challenges we face cannot knock us down, they will only make us stronger. A stepping stone to becoming stronger. Every failure is an opportunity to strengthen ourselves, particularly mentally. Failure is not an enemy but a companion, helping us realize that only through facing difficulties can we fully tap into our potential. That's why failure is the first step on the road to success, because it pushes us to develop and improve day by day. How Stoic thinking shapes your life after failure. When you apply Stoic thinking, failure becomes not just an event but an opportunity to change your perspective on life and self-improvement. It is an essential part of the self-improvement process, and those failures will be the teachers that make you stronger and more determined. Transforming failure into valuable lessons. Stoicism doesn't just encourage us to accept failure, but also demands that we transform failure into valuable lessons. When facing failure, instead of seeing it as an irreversible loss, ask yourself, what have I learned from this event? When you find the answer, you'll realize that each failure is a solid brick in the foundation of long-term success. One of the Stoic principles is the ability to identify external events and our reactions to them. If failure occurs, instead of seeing it as a sign of incapacity, understand that it is life's way of challenging and refining you. How you face failure and learn from it will determine whether you can continue on the path to success. Don't let failure hold you back. One of the biggest risks when facing failure is the possibility of being pulled back by feelings of disappointment. Stoicism teaches us that the feeling of failure is part of the process of mastering ourselves and life. Remember, the things outside of you are beyond your control, but your emotions and reactions are entirely within your power. An important aspect of Stoic thinking is not allowing failure to control your emotions. Only when you don't let yourself be swept away by negative emotions after failure can you maintain persistence and continue to grow. This requires you to build strong emotional self-control, not allowing failure to overshadow your creativity and motivation. Finding peace amidst hardship. Stoicism also teaches that inner peace is essential to overcoming all challenges, including failure. In reality, when you experience failure, feelings such as anxiety, anger, or despair can easily overwhelm you. But instead of letting these emotions dominate, learn to maintain calm in your mind. Maintaining inner peace not only helps you think more clearly but also allows you to make the right decisions and act with resolve during difficult times. This peace does not mean ignoring failure, but rather how you confront and manage your emotions so that they don't disrupt your personal growth. Practice meditation, mindfulness, or simply engage in activities that relax you to help steady your mind, making you more prepared to face the next challenge. Experience freedom through failure. Stoicism helps you realize an important truth: true freedom comes from the ability to let go of things beyond your control. Failure, therefore, is not something to fear or avoid. Instead, it's an opportunity for you to learn how to relinquish expectations and control, accepting that life never follows a fixed script. Each failure is an opportunity to start anew, and it gives you the freedom to experiment, grow, and follow your own path without fear. This freedom not only comes from overcoming failure but from daring to face it and accepting it as part of life. Building strong mental habits. One of the key aspects of Stoic thinking is the ability to build strong mental habits. Failure can make you hesitate if you don't know how to develop positive and resilient habits in your mind. You need to form habits like self-reflection, continuous learning, and self-assessment every day to maintain progress. We can build these habits by starting with small things, such as planning for the next day, writing down small goals each morning, or evaluating ourselves at the end of each day. By maintaining these habits, you'll gradually become more resilient and less likely to be swayed by failure. The connection between failure and success. Stoicism views failure and success not as opposites but as interconnected parts of a continuous cycle. Every failure is a valuable lesson that brings you closer to success. We cannot achieve success without facing challenges and failure. It is these challenges that provide opportunities to refine ourselves and develop our abilities. Stoicism helps us realize that no success is achieved easily. Every step on the journey is filled with effort, persistence, and overcoming failure. As Seneca said, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that will determine your path. And your response to failure is the key to unlocking the door to success. Failure as an opportunity to discover yourself. One of the main reasons failure can be the first step toward success in Stoic thinking is that failure helps you discover yourself more deeply. When facing failure, we are not only dealing with external difficulties but also reflecting on ourselves, the decisions we've made, and our attitudes toward life. Discovering your limits. Failure is an opportunity to better understand your limits. It helps you identify weaknesses you may not have noticed before. When success comes too easily, you may overlook flaws in your abilities or attitudes. However, failure exposes those weaknesses, providing an opportunity for you to identify and address them. Stoicism does not encourage you to wallow in self-blame or criticism. Instead, recognizing your limitations is the first step toward self-improvement. The challenges you face will be valuable lessons that help you overcome your limitations and get closer to perfection. Learning to face fear. One of the things that failure can help you discover is your own fears. We all fear failure, but confronting this fear is an essential part of building character and mental strength. Stoic thinking encourages you to face that fear directly, rather than avoiding it. When you fail, you'll have to face negative emotions and fear head-on. Rather than letting these emotions control you, you can learn to accept and manage them. By doing so, you not only overcome failure but also strengthen your ability to endure and the inner strength needed for future challenges. Developing clear-minded and alert thinking. Failure can also help you develop clearer and more alert thinking. Instead of chasing quick fixes or expecting immediate results, you learn to think long-term and look for sustainable solutions. Each failure is an opportunity to pause, reflect, and draw lessons for yourself. Stoicism encourages you to practice mindfulness in all circumstances. When facing failure, mindfulness helps you clearly identify the reasons for failure and what you can improve moving forward. This attitude helps you maintain an objective view and avoid becoming confused or directionless. Failure as an opportunity to develop patience. Patience is an essential trait. Stoicism teaches that patience is a vital quality for achieving success. Failure is the lesson that helps you cultivate this patience. When faced with challenges, if you seek immediate results, you'll easily become discouraged and give up. However, if you learn patience, you'll develop the ability to persist through each phase, each small step. Patience is the ability to accept that the path to success is not always easy. This doesn't mean you must accept failure unconditionally, but rather, you learn to maintain belief and keep working until you achieve your goal. Every failure is an opportunity to strengthen your patience and perseverance on the journey. No success is achieved instantly. Each failure also reminds you that success is the result of continuous effort, not a sudden event. According to Stoic thinking, no success is achieved immediately. Enduring through difficult stages will be what helps you maintain progress and ultimately reach your goal. Failure and patience, an inseparable pair. In Stoicism, failure and patience are an inseparable pair. Failure helps you realize that the journey is not always smooth, and patience is the quality that helps you overcome those tough moments. When you learn to be patient with failure, you are also learning to respect the process and the growth that comes with it. Failure and creativity. Discovering new creative solutions. One of the reasons why failure is the first step toward success is that it stimulates your creativity. When facing failure, you must find new solutions, explore previously unthought of paths. Instead of relying on old methods, failure forces you to expand your thinking, experiment with new approaches and strategies to overcome the challenge. Stoicism holds that life is not always favorable and no path is easy. However, it is during difficult moments that you can fully unleash your creativity and flexible thinking. Each failure becomes an opportunity for you to discover breakthrough solutions and overcome barriers that you couldn't have imagined before. Seeking opportunities in failure. One of Stoicism's principles is to always seek out opportunities in every situation, even in failure. When you encounter difficulty, it's crucial not to dwell on complaining or finding excuses for the failure but to focus on discovering the potential opportunities. Each failure is a piece of the larger puzzle of life, helping you find new methods and strategies to move forward. Failure might make you think you've gone the wrong way, but if you look at it from a different angle, you'll see it as an opportunity to redesign your strategies, approach problems in a different way. When you learn to view failure as part of the creative process, you will never give up but instead find ways to improve and change. Freedom in creativity. Freedom is a key factor in creativity. When you face failure, you'll realize there is nothing to fear anymore. You've lost what you were pursuing, and this allows you to step outside your comfort zone to try new, creative, and innovative things. This is why failure can open doors for you, unlimit creativity, and allow you to develop solutions that you hadn't considered before. Stoicism encourages you not to fear failure but to act freely, because every step, even if it leads to failure, will still bring valuable lessons. When you no longer fear failure, you will dare to do things you wouldn't have tried before. Failure and the spirit of acceptance. Accepting what you cannot change. Stoicism teaches us that there are things we cannot change, and acceptance is the key to living a peaceful and happy life. When you fail, the first thing you need to do is accept the truth that you did not succeed this time. Instead of wasting time and energy on blaming or regretting, you need to learn to accept failure as an inevitable part of life. Accepting failure does not mean giving up, but understanding that things beyond your control cannot defeat you. When you can accept failure and things that cannot be changed, you will reduce stress and anxiety, allowing you to focus on finding solutions rather than suffering over what has been lost. Failure is the first step to recreate yourself. Accepting failure is also an opportunity for you to recreate yourself. Each failure marks a change in your thinking and actions. When you fail, you may feel loss or pain, but that is also when you have the chance to renew yourself. Stoicism does not encourage you to stay in a negative state for too long but rather to use failure as motivation to regenerate, learn, and grow. This acceptance is how you free yourself from the confinement of the feeling of failure, thus allowing you to create new opportunities and paths. When you can view failure as an inevitable part of life and something you cannot avoid, you will never give up. You will always find the strength to continue your journey. Failure and spiritual growth. Failure is the means to your growth. According to Stoicism, spiritual growth is not a destination but a continuous journey. And in this journey, failure plays an important role as a means to help you grow. When facing failure, you are forced to learn more about yourself, thereby developing qualities like patience, self-control, and the ability to face challenges. This growth does not come easily. Failure teaches you that nothing in life is certain, and you need to be adaptable to the ever-changing circumstances. When you learn from failure, you become stronger, wiser, and more capable of dealing with any challenges in the future. Failure helps you develop mental resilience. Mental resilience is a quality everyone needs to cultivate in life. Stoicism teaches that a person with mental resilience will not be defeated by circumstances. Failure is a part of the process of developing mental resilience. When you experience failure, you may feel sad or disappointed, but if you know how to rise and continue moving forward, you will become stronger each time. Resilience is not about being free from negative emotions, but about the ability to stand up after each fall and continue to fight. When failure occurs, you learn how to master your emotions, which helps you become more resilient in any situation. Conclusion. Stoic thinking gives us a profound perspective on failure. Failure is not something to avoid but an inevitable part of the self-development journey. It is the first step, the solid brick that builds the foundation for success. We cannot make progress without facing failure and learning from it. Remember, every failure is an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Instead of fearing and avoiding it, embrace failure as a teacher and let it guide you to valuable lessons. When you can do this, you will realize that failure is not the end, but a stepping stone on the path to success. So, together we have explored a new piece of knowledge today. I hope you feel more motivated to continue growing and moving closer to your goals. Never stop learning and always stay persistent on the path of personal development. If you found this video useful and interesting, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any future videos. Also, please leave your comments below so we can interact and connect more. This is where we will continue to discover more tips to help you become the best version of yourself. Thank you for always being with us. Wishing you success and happiness on your journey.